Hello and welcome to episode 10, part 2. We continue in Desolus, in Shadowspray Village. Sorry, Shadowprey Village, I should say. We're going to continue round 2 of our loop. We rebuffed before logging off, so all good to go. We're going to be handing in various quests, Desolus, and ultimately ending up on this island. Now, didn't manage to time my login exactly perfectly, but assuming nobody else has taken it, caravan should be waiting here and in this quest, and then head up there as quickly as possible. I'm not sure how long it waits, but I think the caravan leaves here at 12 minutes past the hour, so it's will be moving for 3 minutes, if that's the case. Oh, no. Maybe it's not entirely time dependent then. Time shifts slightly. But off. Hmm.
No chance.
Well, might as well check for some live fruit while we're here. Oh, nice. You got 2 levels. We're 38 and got a bunch of quests to hand in. Lots of stuff here in Desolus. 4 hand-ins there. Another quest to complete. And then, yeah, some more up there. Oh, I'm glad you sort of feeling better about that now. So it's really rather chill once you get used to the um just sort of health balance versus mana balance management. Nice. Yeah, it's a strong spell. It's really good at general healing, at like keeping a situation stable. Um, and provided your tank is sort of like halfway decent, I generally find that, I mean, certainly for the dungeons so far, I rarely even cast a normal heal. A lot of it can just simply be taken care of by renewing at the right point. Um, that will change certainly into the later stages of the game. But from the point of view of getting into it, it's nice. Oh, did you see the most recent uh, classic hardcore moments, or a number? What was it? 156, I think it was. Check. Yeah, 156. It's got two examples of that General Angerforge Fire Destroyer moment in it. One group, they try and run away, and one group, there's a shaman totem left behind, and it just obliterates the healer instantly before the group even know what's going on. Yeah. So I keep telling people, like, don't do the pull up strategy. Like, it's not worth it. All you're doing is skipping 2 fire guards. That's it. Just just clear the mobs. Sure, it takes like 30 seconds extra, but just clear the mobs, fight him properly, and deal with it. Um, it's just not worth one per in like if people are doing like Angerforge runs, they tend to do like 5 at a time. So it's very easy to like have an oversight just because you've done it 3 times already. This is time number 4. You know, someone forgets not to replace a totem, and then everything goes horribly wrong. Yeah, you would think people would do it, but as as I said when I talked about it with the warlock in there, like people like they've done it multiple times before. They've done it 20, 30 times already, and nothing has gone wrong. But it's not because they've been good, it's because they've been lucky. And it only takes one bit of bad luck, one person leaving a totem there, one person backing up too far when like, the ads come, the small dwarves, and you pull 6 destroyers. I, and a lot of people just don't even know that they're there. They don't know that they exist. Like that's part of the problem. And they've done it so many times that, and they don't know the problem exists, and they think everything's fine, and they just don't know what they're risking. But if you try and explain and tell them why it's risky, very often like they're not interested in knowing. You know, they'll just say, "Oh, I've done it loads already. There's no problem." Well, hmm. Yes, I enjoyed seeing Peekaboo's death as well. That was a little bit tragic. Yeah. Uh, if all I can say is, whenever you're doing Shadowfang Keep, always insist on doing the strategy I showed when I did it on my priest, when I did it on my warlock. Insist on the strategy, because it makes everything so much simpler. Ranged, stand on the wall, so that if they get targeted with the Void Bolt, all they have to do is take a step back, fall down behind the little wall, and they're out of line of sight. And also, with range standing on the wall, what it helps is that whoever gets mind controlled, they're probably going to go and attack somebody in the ranged camp, but that means they've got to run from where the boss is, across the room and up the stairs, which gives you a huge amount of time to hit them with some form of crowd control. And it keeps the whole fight much simpler, much more stable, much less healing intensive. I mean, essentially that's the strategy you want to use if you're going to two-man him. And make no mistake, it can be done with just two people. Yeah, the robe's nice. You get this one from a quest somewhere. I forget. Not too much later. And that's a guaranteed gain, so you don't have to worry about it not dropping. Yeah, it's the Nomragan quest, I think, where it comes from. Okay. Yeah, why not? Well, you're thinking about doing a dungeon anyway, so why not? Maybe. We'll have to hand in a couple of quests before we can go to Razorfen Downs. Few things to grab. We'll need log space for it. Bruiseweed we don't need. Worth the most as well. Very nice.
Hurry back!
Oh, right, they're not doing the outside quests. Probably not. I would. I mean, that's -9 for +5. So.
Go with honor. For the Horde. Dub.
Well met.
Right.
Hello. Trust no one. Goodbye. Dark Lady, watch over you.
Right. The Oracle quest. And
What do you need? Strength. Go forth to
that's
victory.
done. Okay.
I have just the thing for you.
This goes up, up, up. Move up. Yeah, I mean, like spirit's nice. But you always sort of want to weigh up what you're gaining and losing. Like as long as everything sort of is fairly balanced, I think you're fine. So like my total stats, stamina's +73, int 65, spirit 73. Like you want enough of a mana pool, but you then also need enough regen to keep topping it up.
Glad I could help.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Keep it real. Glad I could help.
Stamina spirit. 65.
Hurry back.
Abandon that. That didn't work. What's going to be? Ooh, actually, fly from Desolace. We can go this way. So, if you didn't know, there's a instead of going through Manor Coven, there's a like a little safe path over this hill, just sort of the bottom side of the graveyard that you can use to skip a lot of the high level demons if they make you uncomfortable. It's just well, you could just follow the torches essentially. That's where the escort quest starts. That's where you'd go to go through Manor Rock Coven. Um, Both of those things can be sold. Move those things up. Yep. I'm interested to see how Razorfen Downs will go. That should be interesting indeed. That Razorfen Downs and like the Scarlet Monastery Cathedral are sort of the first two parts of a dungeon that I feel might actually require more than renew, like properly more than renew, and possibly armory as well, but that might only just be the last boss fight, which is more understandable.
Who you be? Later.
The other thing we want to do is not fall in the water, that's for sure. We hit 38, but we haven't been to a city, so probably want to train, definitely want to train Renew.
Greetings.
We can fly through Thunderbluff to pick that up as it's on the way. Actually, get the right. And I mean, this. That's awesome. Yeah, well, how do I avoid going out of mana if I'm casting more than renew? Well, see, the renew generally provides us the stability, and one thing you want to do while you're doing the dungeon is to like to test cast like your other healing spells, because the predictive heal on the bar will show you how much it will heal when the heal completes. So you can see and gauge how big a heal you would need depending on their health pool. Like another thing that you can do is a technique called heal cancelling. So like you channel a heal, and if you feel it's not needed, you cancel the cast by tapping a quick movement key to interrupt it. So that because your mana regen only stops when the spell gets cast, not while you're channeling it before it casts. That makes sense. It's not something I would do like all the time, but it is something that I would do in dungeons where I felt that additional healing spells may need to be cast, so that I would have an understanding prior to needing them, of which would be most appropriate. But like it's a more advanced like technique really to get used to. Like not that it's like super complicated, but it is obviously like an extra thing to be thinking about while you're paying attention to everything else. Right, we get back on the flight point, head to the Barrens, and I'll update my spell casts while we're on the flight path. Yeah, I mean, if it's something you're interested in seeing, I'll try and include it in what I'm doing in Razorfen Downs. And you can sort of see what I mean. And when he respawns,
Peace, friend.
we'll see. Um,
Go in peace.
it is a quest mod, but I don't. it wouldn't make sense for him to be a long respawn. Um, yeah, it's probably not that the respawn time is long. Um, hang on. Right. Yeah, I mean, so I think probably if they like if the ambassador isn't respawning, for them to see easily, it's likely that he's just respawned in a different location. But I want to turn off these razor fin things. Death's Head cultist. Yeah. And that will find the ambassador anyway. I don't think... Because most things respawn relatively quickly, and like quest mobs tend to respawn at a similar rate or sometimes even faster. So I guess it's generally not relevant info, I guess. Again, like if something took an exceptionally long time or an exceptionally short time, it might be worth noting. I think the most relevant thing about him is that he's got multiple spawn points. And that's sort of what makes him harder to track down. But I mean, we've got rare scanners and these days, don't we? So unit scan, so it's a lot easier to locate. It would have been a whole lot harder in original classic. Right. I trained a new rank of Powered Fortitude. The mana cost went from 400 and something to 745. Meaning, if I cast it 3 times, that's my entire mana pool gone. Yes, it is. Yes. Very much so. I don't know why it's so expensive. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't see like why it's necessary. Because when you cast it, it's not like they gain the health and they actually gain the health. Their maximum health goes up, but it doesn't give them the health to fill that maximum. Like I know where he can roughly be. Like he can be like up there a bit. But like that's all on one path essentially. That's shaman, warrior, shaman. I'll walk up this way a bit to see if he's here. If not, he'll be in the other location, assuming he's active. Oh, that's him dead. Increases spell damage and healing by 25% or 10% instant cast. So the 15% mana regen is super good, and I would stop there, and I would get the 25% of spirit first. Because you already have some mana cost reduction. So if you've got mana cost reduction and an increase, the two will multiply their bonuses together instead of bonuses being additive. So I started by going to this point in discipline, and then I went holy because I wanted the mana regen first, then the improve renew, because like the inspiration, it only becomes really good once you're casting a lot of heals and can get those heals to crit. But early on, the dungeons, if you're healing with Renew, you're not critting any heals, so it's less relevant. So I've gone for the increased crit. Then I'll go for probably Holy Nova and Inspiration, and then improved healing and the Divine Fury, and then into the Spiritual Guidance and Spiritual Healing. But yeah, like it's not until after you get Spiritual Guidance that it becomes worth finally going to Divine Spirit. But then you really want Spiritual Healing as well. That's plenty. So I want to go spells. That's rank 6. And Alt. No, Shift. That's rank 4. There we go. That should be better. I'll see how effective the Renew 6 is. Should hold things. Yeah, that's better. That feels a lot nicer. Now, some of the mobs in here I think silence, so I need to be a little bit more mindful of where I'm standing and stuff. Just going to zoom in a bit. My camera feels a bit too far. Oh yes. Oh, impossible. Yes, I forgot. Yeah, all good. I'm just going to let my mana keep regenerating for the moment. But the damage is negligible. And we'll top him up before a future pull. Okay, so greater heal. Mm, mm, mm. So that does need a top up. And then we'll renew. That'll be fine. Yep, we are doing the back behind. Good. Starting to see renew becoming more of the stability spell rather than like replacing essentially all other healing. Which is, as I would expect, eventually. I might start putting... I don't want to be there. It's a bit too close. Yeah. Ooh. No. Level 60, dead in dungeon. What did he die to? Rip Scarab. Ooh, yank. Sounds like Tank griefed them a bit. Or a lot. Curse. This. Oh, nice. Casting speed reduced. Great. Right. Oh, that's Healy cloak. Yep. So that's like plus 9 stamina. Spirit stays the same, but yeah, plus 9 stamina. So apparently the tank in the 60 dungeon charged into a pack or multiple packs of mobs and petried and quit the dungeon. It does sound rather bannable. That sounds incredibly grief. Right. You sort of see what I'm doing there with the with the heal, just to sort of see if it heals near max or not. Right. Wait.
Well met. For the Alliance. Be careful. Go with honor, friend. Light bless you.
Good day to you. What can I do for you?
So
Have a good one.
we got from Henry Stern two learnt things: Goldthorn Tea and Mighty Troll's Blood Potion, which is the only place to learn these things. Would there be a downside to standing in melee range of mobs that... Yes, very much so. So if you're in melee, you pull aggro at 100% threat. If you are at range, you pull aggro at 125% threat. So you do not want to be in melee range because you'll pull threat much, much faster. Away from that. So some of these can silence. I don't know exactly which ones. So I'm going to be standing away. Yeah. Yeah. So the Goldthorn Tea. Where is it? There it is. Goldthorn Refreshing Spring Water makes 4 mana drinks for level 25. So that's quite a useful recipe to pick up if you're a herbalist. Just gonna some potions. And the other one was Mighty Troll's Blood Potion, which uses Life Root and Bruiseweed. It regens 12 every 5 seconds, which is huge, really. Yeah, well, the potions that you find in chests will always be lower level ones because it's not unless you're pushing leveling alchemy that you'll get the things that you can craft. But if you're not an alchemist, then whatever you find in a zone, all the potions are always lower in level than the current zone. Until you make it to endgame stuff, essentially. So like I've pushed alchemy, and I can finally at 225 craft greater mana potion, which requires level 31. Yeah, I couldn't use the higher one yet, even if I could craft it. For the for the greater mana potion, yeah, Khadgar's Whisker and Goldthorn, both of which are super common. I haven't needed to use a mana pot ever, though. Just like I haven't needed to use a mana drink. I'm going that way. Right? Yes. Oop. Troll went this way. No, no, the drinks and pots don't need the same cooldown. Drinks don't have a cooldown. They just need time. Like, you're a shaman, you're an enhancement shaman, they're normal mobs. What are you doing? just kill them, please. Um, Gonna rebuff people after this.
We will spread across this barren land. Lay them, my brethren, for the scourge.
I'll put a bigger heal on the tank. 511. Yep. Very nice. Um, no, it's okay. Health stable. Don't want the grave moss. Well, Rogue has one job. Yeah, why else do we bring them? 3 stamina, 5 spirit, 10 stamina, 4 spirit. Though these are the harder packs, I'm expecting to do some actual heal casting here, as was kind of shown there. I don't really want to say to them, like, don't off heal, but because, you know, I wouldn't want them to not do it and let the tank die, but when you're trying to manage health bars and your mana regen, it can be a little annoying when somebody assists. But it's all good. Great 512. Some nice spirit upgrades we've had. Just going to mark Glutton up so that we don't forget where he is. He should be dead very soon. Vampiric Embrace kind of works. I was reading a bit about it, and apparently it only heals like one person at a time. So, potentially. But I do know that when I played Classic originally, one of the like regular healers I had healed as Shadow. And they were good. But it's like it was all about how you manage your resources, and like some people can do that really well, and some people can sort of rely more on their spec. Yeah, need to heal. Okay. Have you seen Peekaboo's death clip? I think it's in the that classic hardcore deaths that I mentioned earlier. It's worth watching. I mean, it like it is the tank's fault, but I wasn't a fan of how he was managing healing. Yeah, it is a fun hardcore death clips. Most recent one. I don't know. Like I haven't seen him heal before, so I don't know if that's how he regularly heals or not. I mean, so either through luck or judgment. I don't know exactly which. When his heal goes off, it is for like exactly the right amount of damage that the tank has taken. And I do get why he's casting like relatively early, but I don't like there wasn't any stabilization renew to sort of see how everything was balancing. You just went straight into a heal. Now I feel that's a mistake. Because at the very start of a combat it's a much higher threat thing. Popping off. So, well-timed spirit tap with the wand. Last hit on the mob, get the extra regen. I wait until the tank has got aggro, and about 80% maybe. Like if I knew that the tank was going to take a lot of burst damage, I'd cast it earlier. But you can feel that out, you know. You get used to how tanky your tank is, how sort of competent they seem, how much healing pressure they create. If the tank's pretty stable, then I'll renew it at 80% roughly. So here, they're pretty stable. These packs sort of create some initial high damage, but there's quite a few normal mobs, so they die quite quickly. So the renew into wait like 2-3 seconds before casting the rank 4 heal. And that sort of seems to, the one heal takes their health back to high enough, and the renew does the rest satisfactorily on these packs. And then the small things are dead and everything goes back to being stable with just renew. Like each tank is different, so you just sort of have to get, and each dungeon is different of course, so you have to get used to what feels right and when. You don't want renew running in advance, you will immediately pull aggro. Like good tanks will, once the mobs are looking at the tank, it will start to push aggro onto you. I.e., once you're on the threat table from healing. It counts everything that you heal. So like, if you cast it before combat and you're out of combat, that's not going to add anything, obviously. But the moment that the tank is engaged, any healing ticks will obviously create threat. No, it's literally whatever healing you do, be it instant, be it from a channeled cast or a ticking dot, just adds up over time. I'll leave that. Yeah, hold on. Mm. You have to drink stupid stuff. I'm not counting this as drinking for healing because, like, this is just nonsense drinking for absurd mana costs. I said rebuff. Where's the rogue gone? Um, so buff the rogue. Okay.
Five, four, three, two, one.
So ideally on this fight, I don't want renew ticking too much when the boss casts his ads, because that will okay, they're dying nicely. It's fine. Um 20 stamina. And that is a huge amount of stamina. I don't know. I can't wear it yet. That's the only thing. I need another level. It's so like the Shamus did a lot of AoE on the ads. I think one or both of them have engineering, which makes things a lot easier. If you're prepared to deal with the ads, the fight is quite simple. That is the way out. Right. Yeah, no, this is the other one. It impresses me that people can do this dungeon so much, and like they do the route that they know, like the route that everybody always does, and then not actually know that this like joins straight to the entrance. The reason you do it this way is because you need to do all the bosses and then go on to the last bit. Yeah. Left side. It's a huge pack. Well, it is if you pull everything. I mean, if they were a lower level, then it might chain aggro, and that isn't certainly isn't the best. But with the warrior being 42, okay, that's not good. No, your damn Nova. Aye. I mean, why is the oh. Why would you do that? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you charge in? Oh, pull back. What the? Why would you? Yes. So kill roaches before you pull. What? That is just insane. You do the entire dungeon and then int pull at the end. Why would you charge in? If there are roaches, kill the roaches. Don't charge in and like there is no way that I can heal that double pack. Like it's just not possible. You can't take that risk. I was already a bit sketch of the warrior earlier. I don't know if I said or not. I might have done that. He was charging in on pulls instead of pulling back. It's not a good thing to be doing. Like it's not a good trait to have. Like good tanks will not charge. Like good tanks will pull things back and then get aggro. it was well, because it looked tough, but it looked like doable while being tough. Does that make sense? And then the ads cast a Nova, which roots everybody in place, and of course the rest of the group are all melee. So everyone was in Nova range, so everyone got rooted. And the root is a really, really long duration. That's when I started to get annoyed. And there was no like running out up the path because there was another pack still there. And by the time it was possible, to hearth, like I had what 3 mobs on me. Like it's fine to go out of the dungeon that way, and people were like high enough level to do it. But you can't charge in there. You can't. You can't. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to be back in a minute. I've been putting off going to the toilet for like 15 minutes. So, and then I'll talk more about it. Hang on. Well, thank you for your condolences. I'm back now. Oh man, I I just don't know why you would ever charge in there like that. You just pull it back. Like I I can't go back far enough in my chat. But I said, you know, pull the pack on the left. That you 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 do not do that. Like you You don't. You don't just charge in. Yeah, I mean, so um, one member of the group, Brilmare, he's the guild leader of the guild that I'm in. So roaches, the cockroaches, if you aggro them, they can run to another pack in the dungeon and pull it. So if you see a cockroach, you kill the cockroach before you pull, or you do the smart thing, and you ranged pull the pack you want to pull it back to you, and fight and kill it away from the roach, and that will do it safely. What you don't do is what this warrior did, which was to charge in. Presumably, they must have done something like demo shout to reduce the attack power of the mobs, but that's an AoE effect which would have angered but not killed the roach, and then the roach may well have run into the other pack. What was this other shaman doing, though? Wait. What was this other shaman doing? Like, he did nothing. Like, what, but why weren't what damage? I don't get it. Why were you not doing damage? Right, but you. I mean, you, but you- you- damage. And used. Like, were they not? Because it doesn't look like they were even auto-attacking. Like, wait, no, no, you, your things sooner or better than healing when damage will be less. Hmm. Well, yes, I mean, mm, mm. Well, it's going to port us out soon. Mm. Obviously, I'll rewatch what happened, but yeah, I mean that was just just why, why? I want to. I'm gonna watch it back and see what the warrior did. I want to find out if the guild leader survived or not. Oh, it looks like he did. Um, yeah, sorry. Yes. Just, And hold on. Um, hold on. So is that you, Bromare, then? Hi, Mookie. Ah, cool. Okay. Well, I can't. I can't create the VOD to export until I finish the stream. So what I'll probably do is, when I've stopped talking about it, I'll end stream and start the export. But as the VODs are several hours long, it won't be on YouTube until tomorrow probably. But you'd be able to see it on Twitch once I publish it after I finish the stream. I mean, I will end stream when I create the new character, which won't be too long. Yeah, I've already had the Warlock's death in a compilation. Man, that warrior was just... Oh, I don't know why you would charge that, ever. You just pull it back. Just pull it back. Like, you can tell good warrior tanks and bad warrior tanks by who charges in and who doesn't. I think we possibly could have done. I was really puzzled when I looked at the fight info. I mean, as you can see down here, this is the damage Ecstasy did. I talked to them briefly and they said they healed instead, but they're like their enhancement spec. They're not going to have much mana, and like the longer things stay alive for, obviously the more damage they put out. So to do just 1.2k over the entire length of that fight seems kind of mad. Like, I mean, that's a bomb and like 1 or 2 auto attacks, right? If you're using a two-hander. Like what were they doing for the other? I don't know how long the fight went on for. It doesn't. It's not telling me the fight duration at the moment. Yeah, I was immediately worried when the second pack came, but like, what can you do? You've got to keep the tank up. If I'd realised that there was like the drop down place next to us, I'd have dropped down there and said to people to hearth sooner. But I didn't realise that that was where the opening was. Yeah, I'm really baffled how he did so little damage. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to look forward to rewatching and seeing exactly what went on. I'm in two minds. Like, I really wanted to get a Horde 60 again before doing Alliance, but equally, like, I've done the Warlock. I've had a Warrior and a Hunter die, and now the Priest. And I'm not sure I can face Priest leveling again for quite a while. It just feels really kind of slow. I don't know. But sent like Hextasy said he did healing instead. We can have a look at that perhaps. Um, ah, yeah, so I mean, he did 4.8k healing, which obviously isn't nothing. I think he would have done better still to do damage because ultimately he is enhancement spec, and with the gear that he'd be using, will have a much smaller mana pool as well. Um, but I mean, it was relatively easy to keep everything stable initially. Like I tried to not need to like spam actual heals until the tank was low. But by that point I had to mana pot and cast what I could. Um, there you go. Overhealing for that last fight. Actually, I want to see what the overhealing was in total. That would be interesting. Overall data. So for the entire dungeon, 1.3k overhealing, which is really low considering people's health pools, which I'm happy with. Yeah, so 1.3k overhealing with 75.5k total healing. So I'm happy with the performance. It's just a case of there was nothing I could do when low, and when I did cast Shackle a couple of times, people broke the Shackle as well. So I kind of couldn't really do anything at that point. I think the only thing that I could have done better was to remember that I've got inner focus, as that would give me a heal that is mana free, and I could have cast a rank 4 heal at no cost on the tank, and that might have helped some. Well, I mean, it would have helped some, especially if it had crit, but the mobs are undead, so fear is useless. And I kept wanting to bandage, but when I like by the time it got to needing to bandage someone, I had things attacking me, and therefore it wasn't possible. I wonder if it will show like that fight duration again. When does it? So that's early on, isn't it? Glutton, and then on to I'm another Coldbringer. 32 seconds, 28 seconds, 1 minute 46. And 1 minute 46. You're telling me in the almost 2 minutes they managed to do like 2 or 3 auto attacks. If that, I mean, that might even just be 1 melee hit. Now, how many melee hits? Oh, 4. 4. 1 bomb that hit multiple targets, and then melee. I would need to set up a new scene in order to do that, which I think I probably can do. Hang on. Where would I need to go? I'm not super familiar with like, I know people before have said it's awkward to like watch back. And, like, things that have just happened on Twitch, and it's a lot easier to do on YouTube. Nope. Not there. The only way that I really know how to do it is to stop the stream so that the recording cuts, and then I can publish it and put it and watch it in an internet browser once it's available. So I log off. Delete this. And then I'll end the stream and restart so that the